Hello again guys and welcome back to my channel. In this video I'll be showing you some minor bugs and glitches that happened to me during my first playthrough of The Last of Us 2. These were mainly during cutscenes in the game, so there will be some minor spoilers in terms of character interactions and dialogue, so please be aware of that. I'd like to also apologize that in my previous video I had a major spoiler in the title of the video, which was unintentional, very stupid and unwise mistake on my part, but that was not on purpose. That was not meant to troll people or upset people in any way. And like I said, I really apologize for that. I'm sorry. So now let's get on with today's topic. So I had a couple of bugs and glitches in The Last of Us 2, and only one of them was really game breaking. I'm gonna show that lastly in the video. And despite of that, I still think the game is very good. It's not like super hardcore game. It's not 10 out of 10 for sure, but it's a really good game and it's worth the money in my personal opinion. So I'm going to show you the glitches that I had one after another, and then I'm gonna comment on them, okay? So the first issue that happened to me was during this cutscene with Owen and Abby. You can see both of them like floating in the air. I would like to say here that I haven't done any edits in the video while showing you this, outside of just cutting the videos during the cutscenes and putting them together. I haven't edited intentionally any part. It was just a couple of glitches and bugs that happened to me during the game. So this is another glitch that happened right before the super ultra omega legendary OMG controversial scene in the game that had everybody lose their minds yesterday on the internet. So you're going to see Owen here and his cup of whatever he's drinking just floating in the air. I'm gonna show this one more time. I haven't done any edits outside of just cutting the glitches and putting them together. I haven't edited any of the visuals of the game itself in order to present it as a glitch, but you saw probably here for a second how his cup was just floating in the air. And what happens after that, I'm sure that other people probably had the same issue too. The sound and the dialogue and the facial expressions of the characters start getting out of sync, and some other weird things are happening after that. So I'm curious to hear and see what other people have experienced, because I'm probably not the only one, but I still haven't looked up what other people think about that department of the game, because I was busy yesterday with a lot of discussions and just stupid, ignorant comments on the internet by people who haven't played the game like at all, which is okay. It's okay if you don't like the game. It's okay if you don't want to play it. Just like putting up like final judgmental opinions about how the game really is as a whole, as a finished product compared to certain like scenes or certain elements of it. That's just doesn't feel right to me, and some people are just saying stuff that are outright not true about the game and they haven't played it at all. So I had to have these very unfortunate interactions yesterday, even with people that I am usually on the same page with in terms of video games and like gaming culture as a whole. But this game will prove to be the most controversial game this year, and because it's 2020, it will be even more controversial and divisive mostly compared to what Death Stranding was at the end of last year. As you probably remember, Death Stranding had a lot of people like the Japanese video games fans versus like American video games fans that dislike Hideo Kojima and think he's underrated. Like the people that were claiming that the game is like Amazon simulator and whatever, versus the people that were thinking that the game is super high art that is outside of the realm of understanding of regular quote-unquote plebs. But however toxic that discussion was about Death Stranding, this time around it's far worse. So unfortunately, I think that a couple of months from now, people are just going to forget about it and move on to the next thing, because The Last of Us 2, as many other games like this, just don't have the life cycle to keep up conversations about video games in the public sphere for extended period of time compared to, for example, esports titles or multiplayer titles. So this will just remain as a sad moment in history, which yet again, like, fans of video games, video game media, publishers, developers, and pretty much everyone are at each other's throats. But enough of that, let's move on to the next issue and the bug that I had. So this was just after the super controversial scene with Owen and Abby. So Abby here, you're gonna see how she glitches when she's trying to interact with the door. I also had a couple of moments in which she's doing like a T1000 and she's just going through the door all together. And here in this moment, like, she's just disappearing from the screen, and after that I had this kind of like a death moment of death sound effect, and the game just had this weird screen. And here in this interaction, we have again Abby and Yara, and here they were just like floating in the air for a second. You saw Lev there just floating in the air. The next one that I'm going to show was actually in a scene in the later portion of the game with Ellie. This was the only time that I had a issue like this with Ellie and her cutscenes. But I hope this problem is fixed, because most people that play the game mainly for the story, there honestly is not very much to do in terms of replay value of this game. Yes, this game has New Game Plus. The Survivor mode is also very hardcore, but for example, the melee combats and the physical combat portion of the game, even on the highest difficulty, is very basic and very easy to grasp and control. But on the higher difficulties, when you have to actually shoot the opponents, like, you have to do a lot of headshots, otherwise you're just gonna get stomped. Especially if you're not playing on New Game Plus with extended health and stuff like this. But anyway, here you're going to see again a floating character in the air during a cutscene. So this guy is trying to make the clicker bite Ellie, and this happens, and you're gonna see how he's just floating in the air. And now we are coming to the last bug that I'm going to show you, and this was actually game breaking for me, so let me explain. There is a moment in the game where Abby has to fight Tommy, and Tommy is a sniper, and you have to fight him in this mall or whatever. But I got to a point where Tommy is just doing this weird peekaboo evasive maneuvers while holding the gun, but I cannot progress past this point. I have to get here. Manny, the NPC, is not moving at all, and I just cannot progress after this point at all. Once again, I'm going to show you. I'm going to go back down the stairs, and Tommy was just stuck there. I couldn't do anything. I had to restart from the last checkpoint, which was very unfortunate. Like I said, it's going to be an issue for a lot of people, way more than it is for me, because this really needs to be fixed. And it was kind of funny, but at the same time, this was probably like the 10th time that I had a glitch like this. But I never had to actually restart the game at any other point. So Tommy is supposed to be here, and he's not here, he's down there. Mary is just stuck on the other side. And here, when I actually get to Tommy, he's just, you're gonna see him, he's just standing there. I cannot do anything, I cannot attack him, I cannot shoot at him, I cannot do anything basically. I was trying to punch him, but he's just like doing these weird moves here. And I cannot progress in the game in any way, shape or form. So I think that this element, paired with a couple of other pure just gameplay elements in terms of the dodge, for example, and how it works, and the invincibility frames of the dodge, also how on the last difficulty the enemies, according to a couple of reviewers, aka gaming journalists, how the enemies are super intelligent and the AI is made in such a way that the enemies are attacking you with some special tactics and maneuvers and stuff like that. There is no such a thing, especially when it comes to melee combat. I'm going to show that in a separate video. But this is going to be all for today. I'm going to reiterate this point one more time. These bugs and glitches that I'm showing you right now are an issue, but the game is still very good, in my personal opinion, of course. And if someone decides that they don't like the game, they don't want to play it, and they think it's like super trash or whatever, that's fine too. But if those same people want to convince other individuals that the game is quote unquote the worst thing ever, they should be able to bring up more serious and constructive arguments to the table compared to this just pure vitriol that is going on right now. Okay, so that's gonna be all for today. Thanks for watching, guys. Please let me know what you think down in the comment section below. If you had any bugs and glitches that you have experienced yourself, please tell me about it again in the comment section, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!
I need you to hear me out.
What's that behind you?
He saved my life.
You have to get away from that scar.